Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hello there. We'll be taking a cue from the previous session, and we'll continue pitching the business plan. We'll be talking about storytelling a little bit, and then we'll discuss something slightly less related, that is designing with colors. So now storytelling, whatever you do, wherever you do, means whatever work you perform in an industry or in your own startup, storytelling makes a huge impression. Suppose you have a bunch of people working for you and they are not well motivated. Telling a story, actually you can put them into action, you can set them fully captivated with the story and then perform better than what they do. So that is why storytelling matters a lot. Particularly in a presentation scenario, you must start with a story that kind of brings your audience into your presentation. Not only that, if they really share the same vision, then almost half the war is won. So you must prepare a very small, short but succinct story at the beginning, whatever that is. Particularly to motivate employees, stories is always necessary. Suppose you manufacture something and that does a lot of good to the society. Let's say a section of maybe people living at the bottom of the pyramid. Now you can prepare a story that will resonate well with these people, that we are actually working to uplift some people who are living at the bottom. So they will kind of activate into action. Whenever you are starting your pitch, potential investors may buy into your narrative and try to gauge your conviction in the cause and your tenacity, seriousness, and the reason why you will succeed. So they will like to, means the story alone can connect with them so well. Customers nowadays, particularly the present generation, millennial, they are more interested about the narratives of a company. Whatever they buy, if they know that some brand are connected to, or some brand work for a cause that they are interested in, they try to buy those products even at a higher price, even if the product quality is not better than or not equivalent to the best product in the market. So a narrative is very, very important. They will not come to see whether you are really doing that, but definitely you should do that and then convey properly that you are doing that. So narrative matters, stories matter. Delivering a compelling story can be more persuasive than projecting growth. So do both. Entrepreneurial story tells the core vision. Suppose for example, you are planning to manufacture drone for spraying pesticides. Now you may start saying that farmers require this service because they are manually spraying spraying pesticides, and it is health hazard for them, and then you start. That will be a very too simple a story to tell. Now you start telling from the point where you come from. So you say that you are working in some kind of a company, multinational or something. One fine morning you were jogging, and then you hit upon a torn piece of paper. You saw 90% of the people, farmers, 90% of the death because of pesticide spraying happens in developing world, whereas in developed world they use major portion of the pesticides. You thought something has to be done. So you started thinking how the developed world is solving this problem, why people don't die there. Then you get to know that they are using aerial vehicles. Then you think that okay, we can also replicate, rather than using an aeroplane which is applicable for a large space of land, which is not the case in India. You think that drone can be used for that. Now this whole story may take something like 30 seconds to 1 minute, but then people will think that you had a wonderful job back there. You were motivated to take this profession because you were passionate about solving a problem that even the farmers are not aware of. And now you are trying to solve this problem and prevent so many deaths. So your audience is going to be connected, and they will think that the moment you will be educating your farmers that they have this prospect, if they spray pesticide using manually walking through the land, they have so much of probability of dying, they will definitely take your service. So everything together tells a whole story, almost like a whole story. What is left is now you have to put data into your story and then finally convey that there is a winning proposition. That is why a story matters a lot. You can take everybody on board, means everybody in the audience, including your employees or your other stakeholders, for a shared vision by your narrative. You can invigorate all the stakeholders into action that will further your story. Now it is just a small fact I am presenting as an example, like say Blake Mycoskie. It is a real true story about an entrepreneur, and it will try to focus how a story can be built. Blake Mycoskie, he traveled the world, and while traveling in some part of say Africa and then Argentina and all that, he noticed that there are children in the villages who walk without a pair of footwear. So he thought, this is a market that I should target. If there are people without footwear, that means there is a vacuum in the marketplace. So if I manufacture this kind of some kind of cheaper shoes that these people can afford, I will have a wonderful market. But then he did not tell this story in this same manner. He thought, it is a devastating reality that children in a small village cannot afford a pair of shoes, and blood is oozing out of their legs, and there is a crying need for somebody to make a pair of shoes available to these people. So when he told this story before his audience, what kind of stakeholders that can be, people bought into that story. And he, of course, before telling the story, he was thinking what kind of a solution I can invent so that I can actually make this affordable to this large audience. So while thinking, while kind of creating awareness in him, and through synectics and other method of invention, he hit upon an idea of manufacturing cheaper pair of shoes, and he wanted to execute. Now he pitched his idea. His idea not only provided children around the world with much needed footwear, but stakeholders rallied behind him, behind the cause, around the cause, and made his brand he named as Tom's, a household name. So he identified a pain point, a marketplace where even the children were not aware about the pain, but he knew that if I make a pair of shoes available at an affordable price, these children are going to buy. He did not give anything free. It is not a social startup or social company. It's a for-profit company, and that has become such a wonderful story, wonderful success story. Now, there is one article in Forbes, I think the reference will be at the bottom. It refers to Richard Maxwell. I also referred many a times about leadership. Maxwell wrote so much. Fail early, fail often, fail forward has been propounded by Maxwell. And Robert Dickman, they recommended 5 building blocks of a compelling story. So, connect with Blake Mycosky's story and see how these 5 building blocks can help you to come up with a cook or conjure up a wonderful story for your own startup. He says there is always a hero in a story. There is an antagonist, means an opponent. Normally in a cinema there is always a hero and his opponent, an antagonist, a dishonest guy or something. Then there is awareness, transformation and passion. Let us see what is the meaning of them. Hero is the agent of change. Here Mycosky is the agent of change. He noticed a challenge. He noticed people getting exploited or people suffering, and he wants to change this situation. So, he is the hero. Blake Mycosky is the hero in his venture. Antagonist is the opponent, is the pain that you want to alleviate or overcome, that is the antagonist, the force against which your hero is working. So, your hero actually is trying to alleviate the pain. So, the antagonist is the pain or the sufferings. Awareness is when your hero gets a solution to fight the antagonist. So, it is the moment, the eureka moment. So, that comes after a lot of deliberation, lot of rumination, lot of thinking, lot of synectics, lot of innovation. So, the moment in which a solution is discovered, that is awareness. The narrative reaches a turning point. The narrative is up to, say, for drone problem, the narrative is up to the drone, that okay, the drone may solve, but then how you are going to build the drone at an affordable price and then make it available to the farmer. What is their cost structure? Are you trying to sell a drone to a farmer? That is not possible. A farmer in India is not going to buy a drone, neither he will be able to operate, nor he has the money to really buy a drone and use. So, you must have a model. Maybe you have a model, entrepreneurial model, where you sell the drone to an entrepreneur in a village. He operates that on a time sharing basis or something. That is the awareness. Transformation, the moment in which you realize the results of the hero's effort is going to manifest and then change the situation. So, the hero is a change agent, is going to transform a lives of some people in a way. So, Mycosky manufactured and made available cheaper shoes to people who could not afford a pair of shoes. These are your fundamental building blocks. You do not have a compelling story if you do not have all these 5 elements in your story. You should remain prepared to pitch in 1 sentence, 1 minute and maybe 10 minutes as the context demands. Suppose you have prepared a 20-minute pitch. Now, your audience do not have time. They say that finish it in 10 minutes. Now, you have prepared for 20 minutes. Which one to leave, which one to keep, you will be at a loss. So, prepare different setup, different version of your pitch deck. The success of your presentation will be judged not by the knowledge you send to the audience, but what the listeners receive. If they don't connect, if they don't receive well, there is no point. You are talking on the wall, to the wall. It takes 1 hour preparation for each minute of presentation time. That means, for a 20-minute presentation, you need to prepare for 20 hours. So, don't do a shabby job. Be focused. It's a good idea to keep a short video, like you prepare a video presentation, so that anybody talking to phone and saying that, okay, why don't you share something, immediately you put it in the YouTube, you give the password to them, they can watch and come back. It would be handy in the text of your message should make a mark, something memorable, and your audience should easily recount to others. They should be able to tell the story to others. You know, the guy was giving a presentation and he said this. The entire story should be clear to them. For a 30-second speech, you can think of this: the pain point, the solution, how big is the market, how much traction do you have. I will move fast, you can pause and read. 2-minute speech, you can see this. Let me move forward. When to fundraise, very important one. You should not just, you have an idea, immediately you should not run for presentation and raise money or try to raise money. Ideally, try to gain as much traction before asking for money. The more traction you have, the less dilution of equity you will have. Not only that, the more confidently you can talk to people to convince that you have a winning proposition. Even the people may even say that, I am ready to pay you money, I am ready to invest in your company, rather than you asking them to invest. Empirical evidence indicate that 90% of the startup can actually take their products to market with very little money, but they raise more money and then they spend more money, and then eventually they burn so much cash that they cannot really proceed forward, and then they die. So, it is always better to raise money later and raise less money. Do not show desperateness during presentation. Now, we will talk about little bit about the color or design with color. Colors trigger different emotions. I will move very fast. There are references, you can see YouTube video. I have the references right here, wonderful videos are there. One thing is that I did not know about a color well. So, I thought that maybe some of you also have not heard about it. It is a wonderful thing we all must know, and we should put that not only in our PowerPoint presentation, but also in our flyers, in our resume, in our product packaging, etc., in our logo, in all our stationaries. There should be a theme, color theme, and then we should follow that. That is a wonderful thing. My presentation may not be wonderful, but I have wonderful references. So, know that there are three, obviously all of you know, red, blue and yellow are the three basic color. Mix this basic color and you get another three color: purple, green, orange. Now, mix subsequent contiguous colors, you get more and more tertiary color, primary color, secondary colors, these are tertiary colors. Now, why all this? Because this color wheel gives you idea as to which colors combination is better, which is not, which should be avoided, and which will catch the fancy of your viewer. Even you, suppose you paint your house with some colors, color combination, if you do the wrong thing, it will give a wrong image, and then it will affect your psychology, your sentiment. We should all be knowing about it. Complementary colors or split complementary colors are the opposite colors. Suppose red and green are sitting exactly opposite. So, red and green will be complementary. Similarly, there are triad, tetradic. Triad means you draw a isosceles triangle, and whatever colors are there, those are nice color combination. They are evenly spaced, 3 evenly spaced colors. This will be an isosceles triangle. Now, tetradic color is just draw a rectangle, and the 4 color arranged in 2 sets of complementary colors, they also form a wonderful color. Just for conveying or driving home the point, I just copied a slide from getdrawing.com free PowerPoint vector graphics, but just to show that this combination looks so nice. And why they look so nice? You just follow this color wheel, you will realize that they follow a pattern, and that is why they look so nice. They are so kind of go well with our sentiment, our psychology. Analogous colors also make so nice presentation, like say 2 to 4 contiguous colors will be kind of okay. Look at this bottom part, orange, light orange, then gradually yellow, contiguous colors, they go well. Now color terminology, and to understand color terminology you should look at this image. I have copied it from somewhere, maybe the reference is at the bottom. Hue is pure color. You change the hue, meaning you change the color concentration. Chroma, saturation, value, tone, shade, hint, all of tint, all of them are a mix of different either color or different hues. So then you get different color combination. Look at this circle, and then you will understand what is the difference between shade, tone, tint and hue. Here it is a monochrome, meaning one single color but different hue. It is blue color. The theme actually is blue, but then there are different colors. In a presentation you can show it this way and the difference is so visible, it looks so nice. So blue, dark blue, then gradually lighter and lighter blue. It is monochrome, but then different hues. Then there are other color mixing that artists name, like say white, gray, black, tint, tone, shade, then pure color. So mix them and you get them. Every color conveys some sentiment, some psychology, some kind of a mood, etc., etc. Like red is represents energy, power, passion. Like orange, it's joy, enthusiasm, creativity. Yellow, happiness, intellect, energy. Green, ambition, growth, freshness, safety. Blue, tranquility, confidence, intelligence. Purple, luxury, ambition, creativity. If you see royal dresses, you will mostly see purple with gold color. Black, power, elegance, mystery, and maybe kind of sadness also. White, cleanliness, purity and perfection. Having said all of them, I have slides to explain every color, but I will not explain them because of shortage of time. I will just flip the pages, you can pause and read. So you must start with a theme. Theme means, is your theme blue or green or red or orange, and then you use different hue, different concentration of hue or combination of that, combination of other tone, etc., and then focus on the theme, remain in the theme. Now yellow, all of this. I will just pause little so that you can pause and read. Blue, then green, orange, pink, purple, black, white. Now there is another issue about color. If you are thinking of making a multicolor presentation, or say in an interior or in a pitch deck, or maybe in a business plan, written business plan, you may follow the 60-30-10 rule. This is a very established rule. It is not like somebody like Guy Kawasaki is telling. This is regarded, this is taken as proof, means as authentic. 60% is the primary color that will dominate the entire scenario. Then 30% is the secondary color, and then somewhere there will be another color with accent, accentuated. Like this example, look at, there are dominant, there are 60% dominant color, then there are 30%, then this dark gray, this something like 10%. So everything together, or maybe the yellow, everything together, it gives a wonderful feeling. So look at them, you will realize that this 60-30-10 actually makes sense. Then contrast also makes a wonderful thing, like say green with red makes a wonderful contrast, bright contrast. So you can think of that. Simple is beautiful, color mix at the same time simple is wonderful. Like I said, different hue, particularly for a business presentation, if you follow this different hues, that makes a wonderful thing. No bright color, different hue, like gray is a dominant color, you use different hue of that, it gives a gravity and seriousness of the presentation. Another one is here, different hue, and it makes a wonderful sense. Here are most of the references that were from where I took, and I recommend that you visit these and read more about it, understand more about all of that, some more references and bit of conclusion.